Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how to make the easiest soup recipe ever, and it's called Pizca Andina, which simply is a Venezuelan potato soup. Now, you might think potato soup, that's really boring. I can assure you this potato soup is not boring at all. It's full of zestiness, it's full of creaminess, characteristic of the Andes region in Venezuela. And now in winter we like to eat something that is warming, something that is comforting, when we come back from work. So this recipe is the easiest soup recipe ever. It's ready in about 20 minutes and it keeps very well in the fridge. It keeps for about 2 or 3 days, and I can assure you, you will repeat this recipe ever and ever again. So if you would like to see how I make Pizca Andina, then continue to watch. For this recipe, we're going to use ingredients. I've got here 2 potatoes cut in squares. We've got milk, and this is where you can vary according to your taste. You can use skim milk, semi-skim, or full fat. Today I'm doing it with skim milk, but as I said, you can use it with any type of milk you like. You can even use half full fat, half cream if you like it richer. We've got water, we've got salt, chopped coriander, chopped green onions, and a little bit of black pepper. You can also add some grated nutmeg if you like that. So let's get started. So I've got here a pan of boiling water. So basically I'm doing this recipe for 2 people. So if you have 2 people, you have 2 glasses of milk and 2 cups of water. So I've got the boiling water here, and I'm going to add the potatoes. So like that. The potatoes take about 15 minutes to cook. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. So you can season to your taste. So I'm going to leave the potatoes here to cook. As I said, they take about 15 minutes. I like to use red skin potatoes because I think one, they cook quicker and they're also sort of fluffier. So I'm going to leave the potatoes to cook. The potatoes are done, and literally it took 10 minutes for the potatoes to be done. As you can see, there's less water, and that's what we want because we're going to add the milk and we don't want it to be too liquidy. So now what we're going to do, I'm just going to put in the milk. I've lowered a bit the temperature, and I would say that's quite good. So I've added 1 cup of water, but my glasses are quite big, so I would say about 1.5 cups. But as I said, you use 1 cup per person. So we're going to let this boil, and we're going to add a little bit of pepper here, a bit of black pepper, and we're going to add the green onions or the spring greens. So we're going to add that. And literally, we're just going to let this cook until it thickens. Now, because I've used skim milk, and skim milk doesn't have very much fat, it's not going to get too thick. But if you use full fat milk or half milk, half cream, then it will get thicker. But as I said, you can choose which kind of milk you want it to do with. So we're going to let this cook for another 10 minutes or so. I've cooked the milk for about 5 minutes, stirring all the time because you don't want to burn the milk. And what you can do as well, if you like the potatoes to be smaller, you can take a potato masher and just mash a little bit the potato just to break them up. Not really you're gonna make a mash, and that will make it even more creamier. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to put in the coriander, and this is the zestiness part. Okay, so I've got here I've added the coriander, I've got the spring greens, the milk and everything. What I'm going to add now, which I forgot to mention at the beginning with the ingredients, I'm going to add 2 eggs. So on a low temperature, I'm going to add 2 free-range eggs, and I'm going to add 1 at the time. So just add 1 and stir. I mean, we're not looking to do scrambled eggs, but this will help thicken the soup a little bit more, as you can see. And as with the milk and the water, we're going to add 1 egg per person. So it's 1 and there's 2 eggs. So, and we're just going to stir it, mix everything, sort of break the yolk, and sort of like that, because we don't want to find the yolk completely in one piece. We want to break everything, and we're just going to find little bits of egg. And you can see this helps to thicken the soup even more, despite me doing it with skim milk, which has very little or no fat at all. So we're just gonna cook the egg on a slow heat, and once the egg is cooked, basically that's it. That's the soup done. So it took me 25 minutes to make the entire soup. And as I said, this soup, you can keep it in the fridge for 2 or 3 days, no problem. Keep it in a sealed container, whether a glass container or a plastic container. And it will freeze very well as well. But I won't leave it for too long in the freezer either. So you can see there's like bits of egg, and I love that specifically. I really like that. So that's it. That's the recipe done. That's the soup done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve it now, and so you can see the final dish. This is my Pizca Andina soup, or Venezuelan potato soup. Now you can see here how kind of creamy it is. Of course, as I said, I did it with skim milk, but if you do it with full fat or half full fat, half cream, then obviously it will be even thicker, richer, more comforting. So if you like this recipe, please do check it out. I'm going to be putting in the description box the link to the printed recipe, so you can print it there. You have all the ingredients, all the quantities, and you can go over and over again every time you would like to make this recipe. Okay guys, so this is my Pizca Andina soup, or Venezuelan potato soup. If you like this recipe, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with friends. And as I said, it's a soup that is very easy to make. It's quick, it's healthy, it's vegetarian, it's warming, it's great for a midweek meal because it's very quick to make. And if you would like to receive more recipes like this, you would like, ideas for midweek meals or weekends, dinner parties, then please subscribe to my channel and you will get notified straight away when I put up a new video recipe. So for now, thank you very much for watching. As I said, I'll put the link below to the written recipe and you can check it out. You can print it. So that's, a lot easier if you want to make this recipe more and more times again. And I'll see you next time. Bye.